All right, welcome to the Crow Discovery Project. I have quite a little clip here. You know, I think this bears mentioning. I am seeing so much growth and so many more people catching on to the kind of nonsense that so many of us spend so much time pointing out on these YouTube channels and podcasts, trying to clue the population in to just the overwhelming fraud that has been afoot for many decades. One of the things that I have talked about is fake rocket launches. And so many people come and they have a problem with the fact that I'm saying that rocket launches don't go to space. You know, I've said that there seems to be some kind of a hard, fast boundary between what we call space and our atmosphere. I have said it is a closed system. I have said even that it is likely space may be water, and I'm not alone in this. Brian Mullen and some others have done work that are leaning towards the same possibility. But this is a very exciting day for me because we have an eyewitness to two fraudulent rocket launches, and the second one, which occurred yesterday, it is August 19, 2016. So yesterday on the full moon or near full moon, there was a rocket launch, and this individual filmed it. And while the film, what she visually captures is not as compelling as the audio track. The audio track is so compelling to me, and again, there are so many people waking up to the just kind of nonsense that has been brushed under the rug for so long. I would say less than a year ago, I don't remember exactly when, I did a clip pointing out that there were all these witnesses down in Florida who thought they had something exploding in the air over their houses when in fact it was a rocket launch. And the news was showing this big, beautiful rocket launch, but the people on the ground saw something wholly different. Well, here we have it. This individual 1 month ago on the full moon witnessed a rocket launch and realized that these rockets are not going to space. They're going out over the ocean. And then had the presence of mind to be prepared on this full moon when the next rocket launch occurred to get out there with her husband as a witness and film to the best of her ability the rocket launch. But what is very telling is that the audio track, and I will run that after I speak with Jess on the phone here. But what's really exciting is Jess lives where she can see the rocket launches, and she is no longer fooled and more than prepared to film what she can see and stand up and speak truth to power. So let's jump in. All right, welcome to Crow 777. I was going to say the podcast. This is actually the Discovery Project. This is going to run on YouTube. I was contacted by a follower who witnessed some SpaceX rocket launches down in Florida, and having spoke with this individual, they sent me video, which I will run after this little talk I have with her. As I've been saying for a long time, NASA never sent rockets to space, and now SpaceX is involved in the same lie. But anyhow, let's get an eyewitness who actually shot video of one of the SpaceX fake launches. This is Jess. Welcome, Jess.
Hi, Crow. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. So I'm guessing, how long have you followed my work? Do you follow me on YouTube or do you follow the podcast?
I follow you on both, and I'd say the past year I've been following you.
Okay, cool. So it was pretty intriguing when you emailed me, because I've always wondered how long it would be before eyewitnesses start to step forward. You know, I would say less than a year ago, there was a launch down in Florida where on the news they showed a rocket leaving, as they always show on the news, but people in the area saw the rocket go over their neighborhood and thought something was blowing up over their neighborhood, and this was not covered on the news at all. It was just another fake rocket launch. But let's jump right in. Okay. You, about a month ago on the full moon, if I'm getting this correct, you can correct anything I get wrong, about a month ago on a full moon, you witnessed a SpaceX launch and realized that it was not going to space. And so last night, which was a full moon, or very close to a full moon, you knew there was going to be another launch, so you were all over it with your camera. So let's talk about what you saw at the first SpaceX launch roughly a month ago. And I should say, it's August 19, 2016 right now. So a month prior, July around July 19th,
Yeah.
or whenever the full moon was last month. Um, do you know what the supposed mission was of the rocket launch you saw back in July?
Okay. So on July 18th, which was a full moon, I was sitting outside. I didn't even know that there was a launch scheduled for that I guess late evening, early morning the following day. But I'm sitting outside and I see it was quiet, didn't hear anything. And above my house, I see like this big light just burst out of nowhere and something that looked like was coming out of it and towards my house. I mean, really close. So I kept an eye on it. All of a sudden, this thing makes a really hard right. And then I can hear what would sound like a rocket, really low, parallel to the ground, going over the houses towards the ocean. Now, I live literally about a mile, mile and a half away from the beach, not far at all.
And how far from Canaveral were there? I assume the launches are happening in Canaveral. How
Right.
far from Canaveral are you?
I'm about 2 hours north. I'm just south of Jacksonville.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead.
So, okay. So I called my friend and what was it, 1 in the morning, 12:30, 1 in the morning, to let her know what I just witnessed. And she was like, well, let me tell you what happened here. We heard 3 sonic booms, but it's because SpaceX just launched a rocket. And actually, it's SpaceX, the Falcon 9. They were bringing a payload to ISS. This was the first one.
Okay, so that's the first one you
Right.
witnessed. SpaceX claims they were bringing a payload up to the International Space Station, and yet you witnessed it coming parallel to your house, which is
Yep.
2 hours north of the launch site. Then you witnessed the rocket do a hard right, a controlled turn, and go out over the ocean.
And that's exactly what it looked like, a controlled turn. I just couldn't make sense of it. I just really couldn't. So, it stuck to my head and I knew that yesterday was going to be another full moon. So I said, wouldn't it be funny if I see this thing again on a full moon? News comes on and I don't watch much television, but I just happened to catch a clip of the news saying that the Delta 4, which is a ULA rocket, it's the United Launch Alliance, it's military owned, I guess. They last night were going to send up 2 threat detecting satellites. So I said, okay, if what I saw the last time is what I think it was, then I should see it tonight, and this time I'll be a little more prepared. Sure enough, I go, I guess I face east, facing east, so that's where the direction this thing came from both times. And sure enough, you see this, it was a little further back this time. It wasn't nearly as close as I saw it the first time. But sure enough, this thing was coming towards my house, which is north of where Cape Canaveral, not going up, coming towards my house.
So parallel to the ground.
Yes.
And how far off the ground would you estimate? Do you have any idea?
This time it was a little higher. I want to say maybe about 1,500 feet.
The first one you saw, you guessed, was roughly 1,000 feet.
Yeah, maybe anywhere from 700 to 1,000 feet. It was really low. I was surprised.
Okay, so on last night's, the one, actually, I'm going to show the video that you shot on the one you're describing now. So keep going. Last night, you know the launch is coming. You see it in the sky, parallel to the ground, coming towards your house.
Right. As a matter of fact, I had my because I recorded it on my cell phone. I had my cell phone in one hand and I had my laptop playing the live feed from Cape Canaveral because of the time of night, they don't air it on television here. You had to go to a website to watch it. So I had that running. So about maybe 37 seconds that they announced it was in the air, I already saw this thing coming towards my house.
2 hours away. But
Two
wow,
hours.
that's crazy. I didn't understand that you were actually watching the live launch feed on the
Yes.
web. So you're watching a typical rocket launch on the web, yet your eyes are seeing something totally different.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead. The thing's about 1,500 feet off the ground, parallel, coming out of the east towards your house. What do you
Right.
see?
So I mean, I was so excited that I don't know, I guess kind of predicted this was, I knew this was gonna happen. So I'm running inside to call my husband to come check. I think I got a little clip of it again, and then I paused it to run to the front of my house because the my neighbors across the street, their backyard is the golf course, so it's very open, and I thought I'd get a better view of it. But by the time I got there, mind you, they had to spray the sky, so it was kind of, it wasn't as clear as the, nowhere near as clear the first time
I
as the
see.
first time. So by the time I got to it, it had already made that right, and you could barely see the light, and it was going off parallel to the ground, off into the foggy sky.
Over the ocean.
Over the,
So
well,
it made
actually towards the ocean. Yeah.
towards the ocean. So it made again the same thing you saw last time, a controlled right turn from
Mhm.
your point of view, parallel to the ground, headed out over the ocean.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And it
Wow.
starts off looking like a fireball coming to you. I mean, it's crazy. It's
So
crazy.
did you get more? You know what? The speaker is echoing. Can you put your hand over the speaker a little bit because your mic's picking it up? Did you only get the one video that you sent me?
That's all I got. Yep.
Well, what's exciting about this is, first of all, you're an eyewitness that stood up to talk about what I already know has been going on. They've been lying about rocket launches ever since apparently the 60s. These rockets are not going to space, and it's very exciting to meet someone like you who had enough guts to stand up and basically say, um, I should stop right there. In the video that I'm about to play that you recorded, it's the audio that is so compelling because you're trying to tell your husband, look, this thing's not going to space. And, at the same time, you're holding the live feed in your hand so you can see what the media is trying to get the people to believe. But the really exciting thing here is you live in an area where this is not going to be your last opportunity to film these things.
Nope. Nope. Now I know to be better prepared for future events like this. It's just mind baffling. Mind
So
baffling.
exciting, and it's very cool that you knew it was 37 seconds after launch when you saw it, because we know that you're roughly 2 hours north of Canaveral.
Right.
So I mean, there's going to be trolls that come out that want to hate all over this because uh, they don't want to look into things or consider things. They just want to believe that these rockets are going to space. But anyhow, Jess, thank you so much. And as soon as
Thank
I'm,
you. My pleasure.
it's so cool to meet someone like you, and I'll be in contact with you. Maybe in one of my future podcasts, if I end up putting something together around these bogus rocket launches, maybe I could have you back.
Awesome. I would love that.
You're very well spoken, and it's very cool that you had the guts to stand up and tell everyone what it is you witnessed because it's so critically important. These people have been getting away with a lie for decades now, and not only that, if we're to believe anything, all the people in this country are paying for the NASA lies. So when they claim they spend a few $1 million on a rocket launch, the truth is they're just having one hell of a firecracker basically go
Sure.
up because it sure as heck is not going to space. But anyhow, I'm going to run the cell phone video that you sent me. And next time, maybe the image will be a little bit better, but it doesn't matter for now because the audio on the clip you sent me is so compelling. Not only that, there's more than one witness because your husband is there and you can hear him being blown away.
Yeah, he saw it as well. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, this is so awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jessica.
you,
I'm
Pro.
gonna I'm gonna edit this together with your permission, and I'll run it on the YouTube channel if that's okay.
That's okay.
Thank you so much, and I'll
Thank
be I'll
you.
be in contact, and you've got my email if you need to ping me.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, we're clear, Jess.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, thanks so much for doing that.
No worries.
And I don't know how accustomed to YouTube you are, but don't even pay any attention. If trolls and haters come, just ignore
Right.
them.
Oh yeah. That doesn't.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
let
it
it.
says more about them than it does about
That's
about me.
true. Don't let it get under your skin. And besides, if they're very rude at all, I just boot them out. But let me get editing on this, and I'll try to get it up tonight. I hope I can get it up tonight because I have to render the clip, and I'm not sure. I've never really rendered a cell phone video before, so I'm not sure how long it will take.
Awesome. Sounds good. Oh, I meant to tell you this ULA. If you go to their website, it's funny. Their what do you call their insignia is an owl, and it says "We see all." I just thought that was funny.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
No.
Um, Hold on. Let me get a browser up. It's called ULA.
Yeah, you just look up the ULA Delta 4 or ULA website, I guess. It's the United Launch Alliance. They're military.
Hold on here. Let me get there.
You know, it's funny because 2 days before, I probably should have mentioned this. I had two huge military helicopters flying over my house. It happens very often, and where I live, it's all we get are snowbirds here, so it's not that populated yet.
Okay, I see the owl. I don't. Okay, let me see.
I think right next to it, let me see if I can. It says "We see all." I just thought that was funny.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, I've
Yeah.
got the AFSPC-6 Video Somnia. Oh, brother. Video Somnia, we see all. Oh man. All right, I'll have to include this. And actually, this last thing you just said, I'll cut the end of the clip. But anyhow, I'll hang up and I'll start editing. And thank you so much for contacting me.
My pleasure.
And thank you so much for giving me permission to run this.
No worries. You have a good one.
All right, bye bye.
Sean! Sean! Watch, it's coming! It's coming! Look! I'm telling you, that shit doesn't go anywhere! That thing doesn't go anywhere! Look at it! Hurry up! Come here! Look! Come over here, you can see it, because I can see it. Look! Look at the rocket! Look at it. Look at where it's going. Please look at it. Look. That shit doesn't go anywhere. They just bring it all the way up here. Do you see it?
Holy fuck, dude.
I told you. This is what happened full moon last launch of the SpaceX. I saw this come right over the house, and then watch. It's going to make a hard right. I got to go to the front and capture this. Look. Do you see it?
I'm watching
It's
it.
coming towards us. They guide this thing. I gotta pause it.
All right, well, there it is. Such compelling video, and I want to say thank you so much, Jess, and thank you for having the guts to kind of stand up and speak the truth about what you witnessed. I have said for a long time that these rockets are simply being shot up in the air, arcing out over the ocean and splashing down, but Jess is witnessing that they are actually being steered and making a hard right turn from her perspective, and then going out over the ocean. You know what you don't see when you dig in to whether you think rocket launches are real? What you don't see is nearly as telling as what you do see. We have zero HD footage or any footage of a ground-based observer filming a rocket going all the way to space, or a rocket coming back in and doing the supposed burn we are told happens. And people like me who have even a moderate telescope would be more than enough to do this. A good telephoto lens would be enough to do this. And the fact that this footage does not exist is why I made a law for our age. Anything that can be filmed in high definition will be filmed in high definition. It's that simple. So here we have it, man. People are paying attention to podcasts, and people that follow me or others on YouTube with an open mind, searching for truth, are now going out and witnessing some of the things we've been talking about. It's going to be an exciting ride from here. For my money, I am seeing, you know what? I ran that kind of terrible, nobody died, nobody got hurt music clip the other day, and I ran it as a test. The first time I ran it, it was Haterville galore. When I ran it the other day, what a shift in the people who came. Not a hater in sight for the first while, then a few trickled in. People are catching on. These are exciting times. Pull together, man. We can out so much of this. We can change the world if we simply put our minds to it. So there it is. Rockets don't go to space, and they never have. Cheers.